Hi, sweethearts. So, today's collective. As always, though, I'm just starting it with the same thing, just in case new people are looking in here, or you just happen to have forgotten. This is a general collective reading, and it is, of course, timeless. So whenever you find it, it is the right time for you to find it. But also, in my collective readings, the story needs to fit for this to be your collective. The details within the story, of course, they might differ, but you will know if the story fits. It will resonate with you, right? I am not here to tell you anything that you don't already know. I'm here to give advice, and you can, of course, choose whether or not you want to take that advice. However, a reading that is for you will resonate with you. It will not be like, oh my god, I'm so shocked. What are you telling me about myself and also the world around me in general? I'm so shocked. It will have been lingering in the back of your mind, or it might have also been conscious. I don't know. But also, if this is not your collective reading, that does not mean that this reading isn't for you per se. If you've clicked in on this reading, then quite likely there is something, a general message or of some sort that your soul is seeking and that you might find here. Okay, so with all of that said, I will be drinking tea as usual. I wish to know what's going on with this right collective. I'm really, like, it's weird. Right now, I am drawn to the tea deck. In general, like, I've been drawn to this deck as the first deck for a tiny while now, because we need to figure out firstly, of course, what's the story, what's going on for this right collective. It's always, my collectives are always connected to love one way or another. However, the readings in and of themselves might be focusing on inner circle. Are you being excluded from the inner circle? Okay, we already got a card. Exclusion, inner circle. It's about feeling like an outsider for something, I suppose. That's going on. Oh, inner conflict. Oh my god, there's lots of inner stuff here. Inner conflict makes decision making difficult for this one. This the right collective. Inner circle and inner conflict. Is it your own inner circle, or is it, because I was thinking externally, like I was thinking, oh, I can't be part of the cool kids gang, or it doesn't have to be the cool kids, but that, or I don't know, like someone you don't feel like you get to be part of the inner circle of someone. As I said, it has to do with romance, right? And so let's just see. Those were the two first that came out. Ooh, whoa, whoa, whoa. And there's a love triangle for this right collective. Okay. Inner conflict and inner circle. And a love triangle. And a gossip. There's something about gossip with the love triangle. Let's see. Like, it might be that you're afraid of the gossip. It might be like the inner conflict might be connected to that. And unfiltered truth was also on top of the love triangle. Bad influence on the gossip and the unfiltered truth. Give me a sec. We're gonna go through this. This is highly dramatic. This is the inner conflict, though, and it's got something to do with the inner circle. It's like, is this collective afraid of being excluded from something? And then double standards was also on top of the gossip spread thing. Oh wow, it's like it's really dropping cards. Push and pull on the love triangle and the bad influence. Okay, it's highly dramatic. Oh my god, okay, it's not stopping. It's like, it's just shocking discovery with the gossip and the double standards. I'm not sure what this is about. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And jealousy issues with the love triangle and the push and pull and the gossip and the shocking discovery and the... Give me a sec here. I always ask before I always set an intention before I actually start a reading, and that intention is I want the collective, whether or not they are following me currently, isn't actually that important, because it'll find the people that it needs to find in the time that they need to hear it. It's my intention. So if you find it, there's something for you. But for this right collective, I'm not sure why I said that, actually. Or perhaps I don't know. I was going to say something more, but I forgot. But my point is, for this right collective, anywho, I should look into getting an extra camera so that you could also see the cards and how they... When I do private readings, I always do that. With private readings, the focus is on the cards. So you get like a top, a bottom, no, top down video. But I can't really do that when I do collective readings, because it's either or. And I want to, have that ish personal feeling, like you can connect with me by actually seeing my face. Also, everything that I say during a reading is of importance to the reading, just so you know. I mean, those that watch me, they already know this. But that also means these details that I'm talking about right now have importance one way or another. Showing... Yeah, I'm not sure. Anywho, my point is, we have these at the top, and they are situated sort of apart from the rest. And then we have this cluster down with the love triangle. But this is, inner conflict when it comes to the inner circle. I'm thinking it's either that the inner circle, we're going to check that so that we know it's for the right collective. But it's either that you feel like you are now not part of the inner circle of someone in this love triangle, and you're experiencing some inner conflict when it comes to that, or you are afraid of how this love triangle might affect you and partaking in some inner circle, and you're having inner conflicts about that. I'm not sure if it is because you wish to keep this the triangle. You shouldn't wish to keep the triangle. That's not good for anyone, unless if it's a triangle, then it's usually not, at least one party wouldn't know about it, I'm suspecting. And so, well, it doesn't really matter. Unless this is polygamy, whatever, like that thing where you have multiple partners and all of the partners are okay with that. Unless that's the case, and even if that is the case, to be honest, because, you have to do that correctly, sort of. Like, it's hard enough to keep up a relationship with one person romantically or just in general, and then you're going to be keeping up with multiple people. That's adding stress. And I'm not saying it's bad, but it is adding stress, because it's adding, it's like building a football team. So you have to be like, okay, do you guys fit together? Do we fit together? How do we make this work, sort of? And how do we make sure that everyone feels as included as whatnot? And everyone feels as loved and as cherished and as whatnot. But if it's a love triangle, then that's usually not how it is, It's more, it's like secrecy, and it's stress. That's what I was going to say. This is stress. This is drama. And that's usually not good for anything. Particularly not our nervous system. And I always go back to our nervous system when it comes to romance, specifically, because, it's important, and I don't feel like enough focus, but that's also not true, because the focus is there. Oh, should I be putting on some cream on my hands? Maybe I should have. But my point is this. This is a mess. Like, this is a hard mess. there's so much here. It's like, okay, there's the love triangle. And then we had, I showcased you the love triangle, right? This is half of the cluster, and then we have the rest down here, and it's just, look at this. Look at this. It's not even, the cards are even like, now we have these as well. It's like, this is just stress. This is just stress. I can tell you right here and now what you should be doing, and this comes from me and not the cards. Untangle all of this. But in a good way, like communication. We have double standards and the shocking discovery and I suspect fear of gossip spreading, or also perhaps there is gossip spreading stuff that is part of this love triangle thing. Maybe when you're in that, instead of pull, which is like, pull in, when you're in this push part for one or both of you guys, like when you're pushing it away. But it's also love triangle. It's also love triangle. So I'm not saying this is just for the third party. I'm like, this, all of this, as I know now, at least with the information we are holding right now, this is quite likely for all of you. Like, there's push and pull, there's shocking discoveries, there's so many double standards, there is the fear and the actual existence of gossip, lots of jealousy issues. Of course, you would have that here, because it's not actually like a polygamous relationship. Bad influence, yes, of course it would. This would affect everyone negatively. Again, with the nervous system just to being one part of it, but there's like the double standards as well, and the jealousy and the gossip, and the push and pull. And then it's also like unfiltered truth is an issue in one way or another. It's either that you're not doing it, or like when you're actually doing it, or when you're being faced with it, then that's not something that you enjoy. And because this one landed next to it, bad influence. And it's like when truth is being spoken, it's being viewed as bad influence. I don't know. This is messy. Okay, so we know that now. At least that's it. For the right collective, you're in a bit of a mess, which of course you've put yourself in, but still, you're in a bit of a mess. And that you're also keeping up, by the way, because it's still existing here. And the thing that I said about you need to untangle. But the reason you're this right collective, the reason you are not untangling is this inner conflict. And with this inner circle, it might actually be both, because that would make lots of sense. Also with the jealousy issues there and the push and pull. But if you were to start untangling this, then perhaps you would be excluded from, this is the fear at least, I'm sensing. You might be excluded from, no, you would be excluded from the inner circle of one of these parties. And you have an inner conflict about that, but there's also the general, like with the gossip and all of that, like how will this affect my other inner circles? Status then, perhaps? Perception by others of you? Yeah, it's a bit of everything, but it's saying nothing about your internal life and your internal wants. All of this is just to focus on the issue, in a sense, but not in a I'm gonna solve this kind of way. In fact, there's no focus on I'm gonna solve this. There's just let's exist in this tangle of a mess that just brings stress. Okay, give me 1 sec here. Okay, what I'm gonna do is, I always make this, doesn't matter. What I'm gonna do here is, I want to check. I hate checking when there are more than one energy. Like with this love triangle, I'm going to have to check then. No, I'm going to check only this right collective. It's very hard to check in on, because as I just said with the polygamy thing, it takes more time. My readings already take lots of time. Anyone who watches me knows that. Put me in as big of a speed, like double up the speed if you can. And save some time. That's what I do on everything that's long. It's like a podcast with me, basically. But anyways, so I want to check out. But I still have to check it like with both parties. Okay, let's do that then, I suppose. I want to know. Let's test this one out. What's making you stick around in this tangle, in this situation, as it is? Why would you be doing that? Instead of facing this inner conflict and solve it. Why are you doing that? Let's see. What's this right collective? Deciding, yeah, landed straight on top of the love triangle and the rest of the cluster. Fear of cheating. Fear of cheating. But you're in a love triangle, you already are. Okay. Fear of other people knowing that you're doing it then? I don't know. That would make no sense. Let's just see. What's keeping this right collective in this mess? Why are they choosing to stick? Oh my god, that one almost burned. It was like, it almost fell into the flame. Never had anything fall that close to it, I think. Anyway, anxiety. You're afraid to get close to someone. They're scared to give them a chance. You're afraid of intimacy. This is perfect for you, actually. You have plenty of reasons to keep up the anxiety, to keep up the fear. This is feeding... I wanted to say this is feeding that... We all have different ways that we look at the world, right? And it's based on the knowledge that we... knowledge and experience that we hold. And all of that is based on past collected knowledge and also experience. And we organize. It's for effectively, it's saving energy, actually. It's selling, no, it's not selling, it's saving brain power, quite literally. And so we organize the world into schemas, like boxes if you like, but it's schemas. So we see certain things would always end up like that, or for example, I've used this example before. A young child will throw down their spoon or a ball, like throw down a ball down some staircases, because they're tiny scientists at that age, like a very, like not an infant, but well, an infant could maybe also be doing like, but this is like a young child. It's a toddler. They throw down a ball and then they can do that for the longest time. And what they are actually doing is they're checking, how does the world work? Every time I throw this ball down the stairs, it actually also goes down the stairs. Well, that's pretty cool. If I throw it again, will it do it again? Will it do it again and again? And then, you know, you have to go and get the ball, but what if I throw it again? Will it come up by itself? And sometimes it does, because sometimes, and you will learn this too then, sometimes perhaps a parent or a sibling will catch the ball and bring it up to you. And that's suddenly a variation to this entire thing. It's like, it's groundbreaking news. Oh my God. Every time I threw it before, it would just lay there until I went down and got it. Or perhaps when they learn that, okay, I throw it down and then I scream or I cry or something like that. And then a parent or a sibling will run down and get it. Or also a parent will shout at my sibling to go and get it for me so that I will not cry anymore. And so you're learning a lot through all of this science, right? As a young toddler child. You learn how the world works, how you will be reacted to, and how the world reacts to you, and stuff like that. Problem is, in this schema, for this right collective, you have something with emotional closeness. You have a great anxiety for that. That's where your actual inner conflict is arising from. You're not very comfortable with emotional intimacy. So, being in a love triangle would be perfect, because no one gets to get properly close to you at all. It's genius of your like subconsciousness. I'm guessing this is not a very conscious solution that you came up with, but subconsciously, this will help uphold your sense of safety, because you don't need to get close to anyone, and no one gets to get close to you. And not just that, but you also get to uphold your view of how love is. It's just that there's lots of negative aspects of how you actually view love. Love is push and pull. That's just drama. Love is jealousy issues. No, that's also drama and lack of communication. Love is spreading gossip and being mean towards each other and whatnot. No, it really isn't. Love is bad influence. On me, I'm on the other people. It's just like, love is not nice. It's unfiltered truth, but this one is, I'm not sensing it's like the radical honesty where it's like unconditional love. And of course this is a safe space, but like it's a safe because the relationship is emotionally intimate and emotionally truthful, and actually it consists of, or it's based on unconditional love. Unfiltered truth wouldn't be a bad thing, but I'm sensing this is not it. It's more like with the whole, I feel like it's tied with all of this. It's like, well, we don't like truth actually. In fact, we want to avoid that. But if it is served up, then it's clearly a tactic, or it's put out there to hurt me or to hurt them, or like it's not to foster deeper intimacy. It isn't good. And then there's plenty of double standards. There would be with jealousy, because in a love triangle then, quite likely, for the right collective, you are expecting both person A and person B to be unendingly loving towards you and unendingly loyal towards you. That's lots of double standards here. And if they're not, then you feel wounded and misused and whatnot. And there's shocking discoveries. Well, that's because you don't actually communicate properly. But all of this is part of how you view love. I'll be honest though, this is the love of a 13-year-old. Like, this is middle school love. This is not adult love. This is not an emotionally mature person's version of love. Because this isn't love. This is drama. But then fear of cheating. You are afraid, and with the anxiety, you are so afraid of getting hurt. That in the process, you just, with this, like, if I were to get emotionally intimate with someone, truthfully, romantically, then they might end up hurting me in the worst of ways. But you fear cheating because you cheat. You are projecting. Okay, wait a sec. Let's just see here. Is there anything more to add to it from this deck? Whoa, yeah, we got one more, but it didn't turn around. So, okay, it was the last one from this deck. What is this? Too soon. Okay, here's the issue. You get too serious too soon. You need to get to know each other before committing fully. Yeah, but it's the 13-year-old's version of what romantic love is. So it's like it's not that, oh, it's too soon and all of that. It's like you don't go deep enough before you decide that, oh, this is a person to I want to say invest in, but like to get romantically attached to. You don't, it's kept very surface level with you because you are afraid of going deeper. Your worst fear in love is getting emotionally deep because you might get hurt. And so you hurt others instead. But, and I'm not saying this in a judgmental way, of course, I'm not. It's, even when I'm calling this a 13-year-old's version of love, I know very well there are lots of, people very high up in their age that this is how they operate in love, and they'll do so until the day they die. But it's not an evolved sort of love. It's almost as if you experience some sort of love and you just stopped there. There was no more progression. So you stagnated in a version of love that isn't, I'm gonna say healthy. For an adult, usually. It's not healthy for your nervous system, at least. But, of course, we all get to choose and decide what we want from love and how we like love to look like. The issue here is that if this is coming up for me in a reading, it also means it's not actually what you want. This inner conflict with the inner circles and all of that, these things, those are proper issues that you are struggling with and that you would like to rid from your existence, right? But the issue is that's not gonna happen until you actually start being open. You need to move away from this teenage-like way of approaching love. It's highly drama-filled. If you wish, this right collective, if you wish this inner conflict to go away, the only way to do so is to start moving away from this drama-filled version of love and going deeper. You need to go deeper with the people that you choose to engage yourself with romantically. You need to go deeper when it comes to how much are you actually giving of yourself, truthfully, nakedly. Like, I don't care about the amount of clothes you have on your body, because that does not at all indicate how naked and truthful and just me sort of emotionally you are meeting up, or you're meeting your partners in relationship or whatnot. Like, emotional intimacy is scary. It is. And you are that's just true. You are handing over the power for someone to hurt you. And they can hurt you deeply even. But the issue is, if you never do that, you will never experience love. You will never have a real intimate connection with anyone. There's also the thing with compartmentalization, right? You can't do that. That's not how it works. If you are acting like this, in your romantic relationships, yes, it will be most noticeable there, but you're doing this also in your other relationships. You're not emotionally intimate with anyone. You're not like, no, because this is where you should have been the most emotionally intimate with your like love life. So that is a very clear indicator that you're not letting anyone in on you, like emotionally. However, you do hold a double standard where you expect it from the others. You both expect it and crave it, but you don't want to give it because of your own anxiety. But this isn't the actual issue, though. It's not an issue that when you open up emotionally, you are handing over, like truthfully, completely, and therefore gaining emotional intimacy in your, closest relationships. The issue isn't that they hold the power to hurt you. The issue is, who are you doing this with? You need to use discernment for that. Is this an individual that would be hurting you like that? And that's where the too soon is coming in, because you don't do this immediately with someone. Of course not. You do it gradually. You kind of check, you kind of test, like you know a person's character. And then when you meet someone, as you interact with them, you get to know a person's character. If you get more deeply involved with them, you get also more insight into their character. You know how they react in different situations. You know whatnot. You do have this issue, though, where you're projecting. So you need to also catch yourself. You need to ask, am I basing this assumption that I am holding now, right now, when it comes to this person or that person, am I basing that on evidence? On how they have reacted and behaved previously? Or am I basing it on, because usually you won't know that you're projecting. You won't know that. It's just when you actually think about it, it's like, oh wait, I can't actually pinpoint truthfully any point where they would be like this, where they have behaved. In fact, when I'm thinking about it, I can pinpoint them reacting differently than that, because I am not them and they are not me. And I can see how they would behave, how they would react when I'm thinking about it. And that's when you know you're projecting. And it doesn't have to be that you're projecting your own behavior. Sometimes, yes. Other times, it's you're projecting experience, felt experience, like you've experienced with other people. Yes, but 15 other people have behaved just like that with me in these situations, in romantic situations or whatnot. But that doesn't matter. What evidence do you have for this person to behaving like that? And if you do have that, why are you getting involved with them? Why do you keep being involved with them? If you cannot remove all of your armor, I'm going to use that here because it had armor. If you cannot remove all of your armor with someone, they are not your someone. And they will never be your someone. You will always feel like you're unseen because you cannot make yourself be seen. You don't feel safe doing that. However, the Right Collective, you don't feel safe doing that in general. You don't feel safe with people seeing you truthfully, completely. At all. And I'm also not saying everyone should be able to do that. You shouldn't be opening up and giving yourself away to everyone. That's not how it works, because you are allowed to protect your well-being. You're allowed to have boundaries. You're allowed to have private life. You're allowed to have... I like the theory of... I don't remember. It was a podcast with someone a long time ago that I saw. And I'm just gonna... Do I have anything that I could use? I'm going to use this, although it's not the best one. So, because we have a circle here. So you have an outer circle. We're going to say that what's outside of this red circle, that's your outer circle. So all of this of the card, that's your outer circle, right? And then we have this circle, the one that's actually a circle. That would be your, like, slightly more inner circle. And then just like, we're gonna go with like here-ish. Like, pretend there is an actual circle here. That would be your most intimate inner circle. And this could be inner circle and then outer circle. The thing is, your most intimate inner circle, there will be extremely few people that should be allowed in there even, because why would you? I'm not saying you shouldn't be, I'm just saying it wouldn't make sense to, for example, let your random neighbor into your most inner circle. That makes no sense. You have no actual connection there, because you don't let people in here like this either. First, we have them in our outer circle, like our most outer circle. Then it's like acquaintances. I know of your existence, you know of my existence. So like, oh, how's the weather? You know about me that I happen to not like cold weather, for example. So it's not very deep. we meet like every morning while we're taking the train, for example. And that's the deepest we're going with each other. And that's okay. That's okay. All of like acquaintances would be out there. And then for this collective, I think you stop here. I think you stop here. And this is like friends that are, well, here would be acquaintances, and here I would have friends and like family that's not so close. Where it's like, okay, so you know me a little bit more. You know a little bit more about how I react to stuff. I let you in a little bit deeper on what's going on in my life, my struggles, what I'm like, whatnot. It's like, it's a little bit deeper, but it's like, it's friendship, and it's not like the deepest of friendships. It's just like, okay, here we have friends. But this collective, you don't go deeper than this. Rather, you don't let other people come closer to you. You, with the double standards, however, do crave to be here with everyone else, or like at least this, at least within this. I'm talking about this, like the love triangle, right? You crave this, but you can't get this unless you're willing to give this. And also, unless you're willing to let people in here. I'm not talking about many. It's like your closest, most intimate relationships, and love should be one of those. If you don't feel safe letting people in there, and there is no actual reason for it, like there isn't, you haven't seen any evidence for that being bad, and perhaps you've also seen evidence for that, I'm going to say, being good. But I wouldn't know, because I'm not sure what kind of people it is that you've entangled yourself with. But you would know this. It would feel safe anyways. It would feel safe. It would feel comfortable. Yes, it would be scary, quite likely. But you would know that, because this is where the unconditional love exists. And because you don't let people in here, you are not giving unconditional love. Yet you do wish to receive unconditional love. That analogy did not work out as I wanted it to. Doesn't matter, because it still stands. The thing still stands. But the reason is because, no, but you're not, because you're not giving of yourself. So you can't give in unconditional love. You're so afraid. I'm going to tell you something. If you were to make a mistake, I don't really believe in those things, but if you were to make a so-called mistake and let someone in there that ended up really like hurting you, I'm thinking this is, because this is the innermost circle, right? So you've learned this behavior from a very young age, and probably family structure related, one way or another. Because this is so deep. This is where you learn this at home. And for you to learn to let other people in on your innermost like circle, unconditional love, you have to have a home where this is showcased between the parents, between siblings, between everything. Like, you have to know love is unconditional from your home. To be able to walk out into the world and have that as like the go-to thing that you start with. Of course, there could be many things, but for some reason or another, you just don't feel like And it doesn't have to be like the biggest and baddest home environment for this to have happened. It could simply have been you and your specific way of being, and you and your needs specifically didn't match so well with you and your family. Like maybe you were like a tiny bit different from them. I'm not sure. It could be anything. It doesn't have to be the biggest and baddest thing or situation that caused this. But it did cause you to not let people in on your innermost life. Your innermost circle was exclusive only to you. No one gets to enter. And this is what is causing all of this. Also the double standards. Because of course we crave that. We need that. This innermost circle, that's where we feel truthfully seen. And also, if it's only you in this innermost circle, you are going to feel very lonely. Because it's not just that, oh, no one gets to see you, but no one gets to be here with you. That's lonely. Then it's just, yeah, you know, I have people around me. But I don't feel so connected to them. No, you wouldn't, because you're not letting them connect to you. And this is a general thing. This is a general message. This is not just for this love triangle situation. No, this is not just for this love triangle. This is also for all of your connections. And it doesn't matter if it is your friends or if it is family. You need to let people in here to both experience and to give unconditional love. But the point was this: even if you were to do a mistake, sort of, and let someone in here who ended up hurting you, it's just pain. You feel it for a moment, you process it, and then you move on. I mean, yes, you could get stuck in rumination, and then there's like this knot. Oh, I like that this was actually sort of like a knot, because that's the thing, you're not untangling. It's like this snake, you know? And it's also, I use this in a different collective reading to explain the drama loop, right? But it's a tangle of drama. And you can untangle it if you want. But the issue is here. It's the inner circle. It's not that you're letting people in too soon. You're never letting people in there. It's that you're getting involved with people, I suspect, before you. So it's more surface level stuff, because you'd never go deeper than the surface level. So it's more surface level stuff that will make you get into connections. But those surface level things will never make you feel safe to let them in here, in your innermost circle, which you are not actually okay with. I was going to say, which right here and now, you're actually okay with that because, you know, of the fear and stuff. But you're not actually okay with that. If it lands there on my table, in my cards, then it means that this is something that you are craving. If it's not, no. I was going to say, your soul is craving it. And it is. But it's like, no, you are craving it. Your entire, like, nervous system, I would suspect, is craving that to get some peace and some relief. You need to go deeper. You need to let other people go deeper. Oh, look at that, you got a cat. Oh. we could read that. I was not going to turn that around. Let's read it. Oh, it's the focus. It says focus, and it's a cat, and it's called, Kite Sit? I'm not sure. Oh, look at that. There's a tiny mummy there. Oh, no. But it's not Egyptian, I think. Oh, it says dangerous. And also 36, if that's a thing. That, you know, some people love numbers and some numbers are... Almost immediately. That's so cool. Synchronicity. Okay, anyway, so we're going to read this one, though. Give me one sec so you can actually look at it as well, because it's gorgeous. Okay, let's see. 36, focus. Kate Sit. I can't pronounce it, but we're gonna go with it. Kate Sit. So pay attention. Yeah, we will go deeper. Check details. Yes, go a bit deeper. Don't go so surface level. So, okay, small mistakes may have big consequences. Yes, they may. But, okay, you get multiple chances to have success. Exactly. But every opportunity can pass. Yeah, okay, so there's something about this love triangle then, I'm suspecting. Okay, let's just read it. Duality. So it's focused and unfocused. But it's also the inner conflict and all of that. So maybe you're feeling all of this, but you're not putting in focused actions, focused energy towards solving this. Because decision making would be part of that. Okay, let's see. In the misty cold air of the Scottish Highlands. It's another one. We had a Scottish one not too long ago either, but that was a dog, I think. So now we have the cat as well. Nice. Okay. In the misty cold air of the Scottish Highlands, there stalks a dark feline who, it is said, can do a lot of harm. Secretive it is, huge and black, with a jaunty white spot of fur upon its chest. It has a tuxedo. It's a tuxedo cat. No, that's so cute. Okay, if you don't pay attention though, this mighty cat can steal your soul. No, okay, that's not good. If someone dies, careful watch is held over the body for day and night. For a day and night, okay. Lest the Catesith come to steal the soul away before the righteous gods can claim it. Okay. This vigil is held by candlelight with an unbroken team of family and friends so that the Kate cannot pass itself over the corpse. I'm sorry, but like, let me read this again. This vigil is held by candlelight with an unbroken team of family and friends. I was watching yesterday a movie while I was doing the dishes. I was watching a movie called... Give me 1 sec, I have it on my phone, okay? 1 sec here. It has this British comedian that I love. He's also part of Stardust, which I love, and he's the merchant there, but I never remember. Is it? No, I never remember him. Is his name, but I'm very bad with names, so don't take it personal. Person who will never watch this anyways. But anyways, so... No, I don't have it here. I don't think I have it here. Oh no. It could be The Majestic, but I don't think it is. I have a list with movies and films, you see. But okay, so it's not that one then. Anyway, point being this. I was watching it, and in this movie, there... Oh, that makes somewhat sense, actually. Okay, so in this movie, there was a husband who died, but the husband had an affair with the yoga teacher. And in the very beginning, we get to know this in the very beginning, more or less. Also, spoiler alert, I'll be spoiling stuff, sis. We have him dying. He is run over by a bus, sadly. But if you're unalived, I should be saying actually on YouTube, then you turn into a ghost. And then we have the love triangle, right? But the thing is, the wife, she works, I'm not sure what it's called, but her work includes mummies and how they have been mummified, and so with museums, and she's probably... it looked like it, at least someone who also holds classes for higher level students, you know, universities and stuff. It looked like that, but I'm not completely certain. Doesn't really matter. She was talking with the other protagonist of the movie, which is a man who is very grumpy, by the way, and he also lets no one in on his business or whatnot until he has to, which is like literally he does not let anyone truthfully in on him until the absolute end of the movie. It's like absolute end of the movie. It's super late. Even in storytelling, that was extremely late, and I reacted towards that. Not negatively, but I was just like, wow. It's like, because it looked on the surface like he had done progress. It did. But the progress was very much only directed towards this woman that he had fallen for. So it wasn't actual character development. And the minute that this woman was gone, there was no character development. In fact, he was right back at where he had always been, because you cannot change for others. You have to have some sort of inner motivation. It's like, yes, this actually gives my life more meaning, more purpose. Helping others was specifically the thing with him. Like, he wouldn't be helping anyone. It was only himself, because that's how he lived. He had been hurt at some point, and then he was just like, yeah, well, hurt people, and I have been hurt, and so it is my privilege to go out and hurt others, by not even caring one tiny bit about them, because he was the only one who could see these ghosts, right? So he was the absolutely only one that could help them, and it was tiny stuff, or sometimes slightly bigger, and it doesn't really matter, because they were huge. They meant so much for the people involved, and I'm sensing that I could cry over that, because it was tiny stuff, but it helps so much because people had lost their closest people. But anyways, so I'm like, I'm not gonna cry. But the point is, she was talking to this man before he had done that actual change, because it came from an internal place of simply wanting to be more than what he was allowing himself to be, and therefore experiencing more love, more joy, more self-acceptance, and more acceptance from others. And they never actually stopped inviting him in. It's just he put up his hand basically and said, no, I don't want to, and I don't want you to try and reel me into your whatever. So that's a thing, sadly. He had lots of inner conflicts. But he also had that one issue where he had let someone in too soon, quite likely. Like, he didn't know the extent of their character until he decided to get very attached to them. And then he got hurt. And because he got hurt, everyone else was treated like a potential threat to his emotional well-being. But his emotional well-being was not very well to begin with, in the movie, because he was already broken. And if you never let anyone in on your inner circle, you're just lonely. You're just lonely. But this woman, she was talking with the main character, the main protagonist, and I think this was at the end of the movie as well, where they were discussing why did they put all of the stuffs from the mummy, right, into different jars. And they concluded on it being because they loved them so much. And so they wanted to know that they were going to be okay on the other side. And that, I'm sorry, but I'm on the verge of tears. I find that beautiful, and I find that also very wholesome, and yeah, I'm gonna not continue there. My point is this. With this cat, the vigil is held by candlelight with an unbroken team of family and friends. That's your inner circle. Those are the ones that would be standing there and be holding a unbroken vigil in candlelight to make sure that this Scottish cat won't come and steal your soul away, in case, that was a thing that could happen, so that you could go wherever it is that, I don't know, they deemed to be a better place. What did they call it? Gods, the righteous gods instead could claim the soul. Who do you have in your life that would do that? And who will you have in your life that will do that? I'm not saying like, oh, go over to this, whatever this superstitious religious thing was, or just superstitious, I'm not sure. But who do you have that would do that? And who will you even get to have that would do that? Who will you allow to get so close to you that they would be allowed to do that? Because closing people out from your inner circle also means that you are not allowing people to love you as deeply as they might want to. Friends, family, love, as is the issue here. Who would sit by your, what did they call it? I don't know. It's held over the body for a day and night. Who would do that for you? And also, if you suspect that those people would be doing it, then you're not too soon. Then you're going deeper. And also, if you're letting in people who would not do that, it's not going to be unaliving you. It might feel painful, but it's just pain. And if you process that, if you let yourself feel the pain, then you also move through the pain. And then you move away from it. And then you alchemize it. And then you learn from it. You grow. It's not silver lining. I am not someone who thinks we should be. I'm not saying you shouldn't be, but I'm just saying there's more to it than just simply silver lining. I try to alchemize instead. It's like, where's the blessing? Where's the blessing and where's the gift? In the knowledge that you get, both from when you get hurt and from when you sort of win. when you, it's not winning either. It's like when you get hurt and when you get loved. And also sometimes the people that will hurt us the most, and this you need to know, the people that will hurt us the most are the people that we love the most. So you're not also letting yourself love anyone too deeply. Because if you did that, you could get hurt. And I'm not saying anything here, like what you should or should not be doing. You're the only person who actually knows that. But anyone who would sit through this would not be too soon. And if you have not allowed a single person to be able to come so close to you that they would be sitting in a watchful wake, what did they call it? Unbroken vigil by candlelight, to make sure that your soul is going to be okay. Doesn't matter if you believe in this or if the people around you believe in this. I'm talking hypothetically here. If you're not allowing people to get that close, then that's a great shame for you and your life, and for the love that you are letting yourself experience, and for the love that you are letting other people experience from and with you. Yes, I am one of those that think and honestly believe, because I was going to say statistics, but I'm just thinking about the fact that most people, it seems at least, we end up in an elder home when we are old because of sickness and whatnot, and it's practical. It's more practical. We live longer, and we need more medical help very often at the end of our lives. And so, often, we are alone the moment of our passing. But that does not mean that you have had to have lived alone and felt lonely. And it does not mean that you then could not have had people that would still, the moment they find it out, come rushing over to sit vigil over your soul in candlelight. This is hypothetical. It's not about how we go, how we exit this life. It's about how we live it. And this inner circle is a massive part of how we feel that we lived it. It is not the external. It is not the outermost thing. None of that truthfully matters to our internal well-being. It's the inner circle. The innermost circle. Because that's the core of you. And if you cannot let in others when it comes to the absolute core of yourself, firstly, you are fearing the core of yourself one way or another. You don't feel like anyone would be accepting of yourself if they got that close. Not truthfully. Or also, it could simply be that you have a deep-seated mistrust towards absolutely everyone else. So, if they came in there, of course they would have had to have ulterior motives. They're just there to figure out your inner workings so that they can stab you in your back. And then it will hurt extra much because you were like, oh, et tu, Brutus, or something like that, you know. It's not how it is if you don't let them in too soon. You figure out their character. Step-by-step process. First here, then there, and then if you feel based on, you know, evidence, not anxiety, then you can test to let them in here. You don't open up the entire thing. It's like you can test one thing on a person out there and be like, oh, how are you dealing this? Like, how are you handling getting some of my innermost stuff? How is that going for you and me? And then it's like, oh wow, okay, I was not hurt by doing that. I might let you have one more piece of this, like one more opening into my innermost soul, but just one, and then it'll be like a tiny bit. And it's like, okay. Well, so I was not hurt quite yet either. Okay, maybe I'll let you have like one more crumb, but just one. And then in the end, you're just like, because people get to prove themselves before they not get, but yes, people get to prove themselves. That's also showcasing love. Letting people prove that they in fact do love you. Like again, with families, and this is everything that is your most intimate relationships, family, friends, and again, lovers, but romantic. But I want to continue on reading this one. So, blah, 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 cannot pass. So stories are told about the person and stories are told about the person. Oh, during the vigil. Stories are told about the person and food and drink is provided. I want this when I die, but I also want to be like burned to ashes and then fed to a tree or something. But also this. Let's see. About the person and food and drink is provided. Sometimes songs and keening too. Oh yeah, that's when they are like crying, I think, if I remember correctly. But it's like it's not just family sitting there crying. It's the keeners or something like that. It's a Scottish tradition, if I remember correctly. Let's see. This is to hold the cate's attention and focus, so there is no chance that it can strike. I would just, like, I have had cats, throw out some kibbles everywhere. And like if that kibble is not close to the body, like the cat ain't going there. And also you can have like laser pointers or strings, like tiny red strings and stuff like that. Like it would be so entertained. At least it would be very distracted. Let's see. This is just part of the mythos of the Kate Sith, the giant cat that stalks the mountains. Another myth about the Kate Sith is that witches change themselves into the creature. But there is a catch for the witch. No, but there is a catch for the witch. If she doesn't pay attention to how many times she has changed into the cat form, on the 9th, oh my god, that's 9 lives. Anyway, on the 9th, she cannot change back to her human form and must stay a Kate Sith. This is where the idea that cats have 9 lives come from. The Kate also offers blessings on one night of the year. Somehow, it's Halloween! You can get blessings from the cat! Well, it's Kate Sith, but still! Oh my god, that's so cool. And only if a saucer of milk is left out for it. I shall remember this. And I will bring all the cats of the neighborhood in with this. I will have so many blessings. Okay, anywho, I'm back to it. It's left out for it. If households neglect the offering, oh god, it is said their cows go dry. This is like a Norwegian little, like, it's not a Santa, but it's like a Nisse, right? That were living in the farms, or on the farms actually, and they were helping you take care of the animals and stuff. But you had to be nice towards them, and then you also had to give them some porridge sometimes. I think it was mostly though around Christmas that they wanted that. You had to be nice to the animals, otherwise they would be very rude towards you. Understandably enough, they were like the original animal rights defenders, I'm guessing. Anywho, interestingly, for many years, the idea of a large cat mysteriously appearing in the forest in Scotland was considered pure fantasy. Until actual large black cats with white patches on their chests were reliably seen. It is thought that they were and are Kellas cats, which are a hybrid of the Scottish wildcat and a domestic cat. The plant companion is, of course, catmint, and the crystal companion, if someone wants that, is Highland serpentine. Serpent? Haha. But also, what I love about this is that for many years, the idea of a large, mysterious pairing, blah, 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 was, a myth. It was just considered a myth, just fantasy. Like, it wasn't part of the schema that we were talking about, right? We were talking about that. So, but then it was experienced. People were like, oh, wait a sec. This is a black cat that actually exists. It's not just the myth. It's true. In life, we can see this cat. It doesn't do all the same stuff, but still, it's there. And so, for you, I'm like, it's the same thing, right? Everything in a reading is part of the reading, everything. For you, you're not letting yourself experience what you do crave, but you're not doing it because of this, the inner conflict and anxiety, right? No, it's not like this is what you want. This is what you want, but you don't believe in it. You believe in this right now. You believe in the things that you fear. You believe in what you're projecting. You believe in your anxiety. You believe in the mistakes that you've done previously to be the only reality that exists. And yet you hope so much for it not to be. But still, you're creating it and you're recreating it because you're stopping here when it comes to letting people in. You're never going to experience the Kate Sith until you let people in. You need proof to believe in it, but you're never going to get the proof unless you do the thing. But as I said, it doesn't mean you have to let them in immediately. You let a little bit and a little bit and a little bit, but you keep on progressing, and it is not in a push and pull sort of way. It is not, I'm giving you a tiny bit now. Oh, okay, you didn't hurt me, but I still feel anxious because I just let you in on my innermost circle, and that's scary because that could hurt me. So what I'm gonna do now, because I feel not so great, just internally. It's not based on evidence. It's not based on anything but my previous schemas and also my previous way of reacting in these situations and what I am actually emotionally expecting, but have not, hopefully then at least, but have not actually experienced with this person that I am now giving tiny bits to check, okay, are you safe to be let into this innermost circle of mine? So what I'm gonna do instead now, with no proof or anything, I'm gonna pull back, actually. So, like, it was nice that you didn't have me, and may we speak again in a year. Maybe. If I feel like it, and if I have been able to calm myself down since the last time that I did that crumb thing for you. Be grateful. Sort of. Now you run. That's not very sustainable. You're not actually going to get a lot of people in here then, because it's like it would take a tremendous amount of oh, that's where the time aspect was. You get multiple chances to let people in here. You get multiple chances to have success, but every opportunity can pass. So if you keep on giving people one crumb and then you run based on nothing, based on, I mean, of course, if they are showcasing they couldn't handle it, it's not too soon, by the way, but like if they were showcasing they couldn't handle it, it is, you should look upon that as doing a science project, and it was you collecting data, and so no matter which data you get back, that's a success, truthfully. And that's not then running away when you're like, okay, I gave you a crumb, you clearly could not handle that, nice. It's not running away when you then don't give them more crumbs. It's like, okay, I did a science project and the data, they're suggesting that this is not gonna work out. That's okay. Now I know that. I mean, of course, you could test again in a while and be like, okay, I'm testing with this one. So if you get the same result, then your data is stacking up. But if you're getting the same result and it's positive and you're still running, then that's sabotaging. And you won't have forever with people in general to do that. It's not because, oh, but then they didn't love me enough. Then there wasn't enough unconditional love. Then there wasn't enough space for me to grow and evolve into me, being me. That's not what it's about. It's because if you keep on giving people a tiny crumb and then you run away and it's like, maybe in 6 months, maybe in a year, I might test that out again, perhaps. But in the meantime, I'm feeling so very uncomfortable right now, so I'm just not gonna engage with you or this or anything, actually. This would take so long that even if it was like, I don't know, it's like, I wanted to say even the most patient person in the world couldn't be sitting around for 15 years waiting for one more crumb to come every year, sort of. And it doesn't really matter if that is family or friends or in love. It doesn't really matter, because what's going on in the meantime is life continues moving forward. And so for this technique to work, time would have to stand still. People evolve. People move further along in their own lives. Like, life takes them places. And so if it took you 15 years to crumb someone halfway into your inner circle, that person in 15 years, they might be, if it's family and it's like elderly family, they might not be around. If it's still family, but you know, you might end up not living in the same area anymore, and so you can't have that close relationship thing. I mean, you can actually have very close relationship, but you'd have to make accommodations, and that's also okay. But I'm just saying, like, life would take you places. And with this, because this is the thing for this collective, is the love triangle, right? Well, one or both might move on. Because you're comfortable in this. Are they comfortable in this? You have to remember this. It's double standards. And it's also filled with all of this drama. So if one or both heal out of this drama thing, then they wouldn't be sticking around either. So that tiny crumb thing wouldn't be very effective. I'm not even saying that either of these is the person that you should then like be, because you have this inner conflict, right? But the issue is you're not letting any of these people in. And perhaps, I don't know, perhaps at this point it is too soon to know. But then it would be too soon to know, perhaps, with both of them or with one of them, I don't know. Or perhaps also you got attached to one or both of them while it was too soon to know. And so now it's very superficial what you have. And when and if, because like with this collective, you're not really, like all I've said is for a reason. So when and if you even let them in here, you might have negative experiences with it because it was so superficial. And now that you get to see their deeper characters, which would be in here, because it's not you as a person out in your social circle, it's not you out in the most far away social circle. Like, this is just acquaintances. Here we have you with friends, and here we have you basically at home then with your closest people. What was I going to say? I was going to say something about characters, like, because you wouldn't know until you try, until you test it out. That's when you know how they react. That's to you being all of you, like in here. But if you can't be all of you, this here, and it's like your home and your relationships in your case, then I'm not going to say, is it worth it? Or rather, I'm not going to say it's not worth it. Rather, I'm going to ask, is it worth it? And it might be for you. It might be. I don't know. That's up to you. But it's clearly causing you inner conflict, and it's clearly not doing anything for your anxiety. And also the double standards again. And it's clearly not doing anything for your fear of cheating, but fear of letting people close in case they might hurt you. You need to find safe people to let in here. I want to just get some cards on what you should be doing right now in all of this. All that I have said, yes. And also it's advice. You get to choose what you want to do. But you have to actually take action. For any of this to change, you actually have to start letting people in here and also unravel this knot that exists now, this drama knot. I want to check what you are advised to do right now. I mean, but that is what you're advised to do. But I want to know in actual action steps, because you, just right collective, you're a person who's stuck in your mind right now. I'm not saying in general, but right now you are. So I want action steps. What should you be doing? Okay. Oh, this is a horrible deck, actually, because they get stuck together. Let's see. No, this wasn't it. Let's see. Okay, we got one here. Woman holding a heart. 44. Give me a sec. Woman holding a heart. Let's see. I am gonna read it. We're going to be pulling a couple more. Oh, I also stopped on 33 here, but let's see. So this is, it says female, but I'm gonna say feminine. So looking into your feminine, softer side then. But okay, dealing with family, love, and emotions. Because what I'm sensing here is that this is about you dealing with your family, love, and emotions. Blah blah blah. It's just right. It's just describing the card. Okay, so this is what I'm sensing. I'm just gonna read this. This is a reflection of your own state of peaceful emotion and receptivity for love. So it's like, it's where you need to focus. And there's also things about family issues. And it says that it's going to be resolved. But you need to listen to your intuition. You need to understand your emotions. And bring awareness to everything that you do. But also everything that you avoid doing. You need to be aware of it. Like the thing that I said with the... I can't remember what it was. It was something about... It doesn't matter. Blah, blah, blah. It's also... It could also indicate... Could also indicate that you might... If this is something you struggle with, then it does indicate that you might want to seek out like a friend or a teacher or a confidant who are in their feminine energy, sort of, and seek help with these issues of love and family and emotions. And you will know these people by them being even-tempered and caring, and a person who can resonate with you and your emotions. And then it also said, sorry, I shouldn't. And it also said, this could also portend a new love interest or friend coming your way. Then I'm like, you already have two. Are you going to really expand on this? Please don't. I know, I'm just here for advice. Untangle that until you get some more people involved here. Like, untangle it. Please. For the love of your own nervous system. And also emotional state and whatnot. Damn it. Okay, but we're gonna just check this out though. But yeah, that's a thing to take into consideration. Whoa, okay. Oh yeah, look at that. 17, also, you need to take action. This was straight on top of your love triangle. You need to take action. And then I had also all of the cluster beneath it. Let's see, 17. Yeah, you're not ever going to get unstuck in your head until you stop existing only in your head. And the only way to not do that is to start existing outside of it by doing, you know, not just thinking, not just being caught up in anxious thought loops. You need to act, you need to do stuff, you need to actually do something. But it's like focus something. It can't be, oh, I'm feeling all this anxiety, I'm gonna go and do stuff so I don't have to feel it anymore. Like I'm heading to the gym, for example. getting all buff. That's probably gonna solve all of my issues. Or like, suddenly I just needed to deep clean my entire home, actually. And when my space is clean and not messy, then I can finally think, probably. But then it's like, oh, well, darn, it seems like the rooms that I just cleaned, they got a bit messy, so I can't possibly sit down and focus on this. I'm gonna go and do the cleaning action instead, because, you know, a clean home is a clean mind. It's like, no. You have to take action towards the actual thing for the actual thing to be resolved and for it to actually stop being so constantly stuck in your head and causing you all of this, furthering your anxiety, furthering your all of this clustering thing. You're furthering your inner conflict and you're furthering this inner circle whatever thing that you didn't like. Doesn't really matter. So energizing effort and willingness to work specifically on this. It landed on that. So the card tells you that now is the time, now, right here and now, is the time for more aggressive forward movement. The galloping horses represent intentional and concerted action, directed towards your goals, not some willy-nilly whatever. It's like actual action taken towards your actual, well, issue in this case, which is your love triangle. Okay, so this card upright indicates that you are on the right track, but you determine, but your determined effort must increase. The white horse is inner action of spirit and thought. The black is the outer work. And look at that. The black horse is a little bit lagging behind. It's not good. Yeah. It's the outer work that still needs to be done. So continue taking action and trust your intuition. In time, you'll break through and see the results you've been working so hard to create. Yeah, I'm going to have to read this also reversed. I'm not sure why, but I felt it and I don't really do it. And these cards never fall out reversed. They might turn themselves around, but I keep them in an upright position. And sometimes I feel called to read the reversed, but I don't usually do it. For example, the reverse of this one would then being disconnected to your emotions and all of that, but also being surrounded by people who are disconnected. So it would be like bad influence. Oh yeah, like this. It would be like being around bad influence. People that is the opposite of what this card is actually trying to help you with, which is to get more in sync with your intuition, your emotions, your everything. And to seek out people who are actually in that, if you need like a teacher or whatnot to help you, or like a friend or a mother or something, but that exist in that energy, truthfully, not wounded. Because if you're trying to seek out help from someone who exists in this type of energy and they're wounded, then that's the only thing they can also help you, is to get into a wounded state like them, and they're not usually gonna do that in a very helpful manner. Also it's not helpful in general. Doesn't matter. We're going back to this one. So reversed. Action is the accelerant that ignites your desires. But when this card is reversed, you may find that something is missing in your determination or your follow through. Perhaps you've been engaging in more wishful thinking than in any consistent effort, or perhaps you need to make some adjustments in what you are paying attention to. Create a structured plan, then make sure you take daily action. This will move you close to your goals. Be flexible yet persistent, and ever conscious of your ability to act on your own behalf. But that does not mean act in alignment with the existing anxiety and fears. No, because that's not what you want. What you actually want is, and it also landed on the love triangle, by the way, you want to resolve this inner conflict. And to do that, You need to untangle this. There is no way around it. Not for this right collective. You want this. Or your soul, at least, craves this. Your peace, your nervous system craves this. And you have the intuition, and you have the emotions, and you have all of it. It's just that you're not resolving it quite yet, at least. I don't know if, like, maybe someone in this collective, maybe for some in this collective, the upright was very on point, but like, just continue on and keep on making sure and all of that. But for others in this collective, it will be like, you're mostly just doing wishful thinking around like this being solved wishfully in your thoughts. But the action part of actually doing the thing isn't actually there. But, you know, you would know yourself what resonates. Even if it doesn't feel good, you would know yourself. It's like, wait, one card landed on top of the woman holding a heart. And also the Kate Sith and Too Soon and like all of the other clustering things. And that is number 10, a storm warning. Wait one sec. I'm gonna go and find it here. No, it's the wrong booklet. Okay, number 10. Where are you at? Here, storm warning. Okay. This card indicates a potential difficulty, either in the external world or within yourself and your emotional life. But it did land on top of and you do have an inner conflict, so we already know this. This is true. Right now, you are in some sort of storm inside of your own head. But you're also, like, with all of this, like, you've created a storm around you as well. I'm just saying. Okay, so the difficulty is coming closer. And that's part of the anxiety. And you may have already heard rumblings here. And you may have already heard rumblings of potential problems around you. The caution here is to be conscious, yet not fearful. Consider what's going on and look at the situation with calm clarity. Investigate your options and honor yourself and your intentions. Stand up for yourself and take action. Take action. That's the main thing for this collective. You need to take action. Lower is it? Stand up for yourself and take action on your own behalf. As with all difficulty, even the worst storm passes. Always remember, you have the power and the wisdom to handle whatever may come your way. So your anxiety still stopping you from actually doing anything with this. It's stopping you from listening to yourself, your emotions, and your intuition. Oh my. And then we got number 19. Landing on top of storm warning and action and all of this cluster of all of these weird stuffs is beneath the love triangle. Number 19, rest and rejuvenation. Let me just find it first. Here. Okay. Okay, like so. Relaxation and meditation. Upright. This card shows a man in meditative and tranquil state. The message here is that it is time to relax. Yeah, but in your case, relax, but like in a take action. You may have been busy lately. You're excusing it. You're excusing why you're not putting action into this. So it's the thing that I said earlier on with the whole, for this right collective, like you're doing other stuff. Says, I'm so busy. I can't possibly be like, this will have to live in my head for now, because it's like, I can't, I literally cannot. I'm just too busy. Okay, you may have been busy lately, but you should soon be finding more time to just let go. That's the thing too, because you can't, because you're not with all of this. Anywho, when you do, allow yourself to go within and open up to the peace and wisdom that are vibrating, that you need to stop. I want to say stop and smell the roses. That's not what you're going to do. You need to stop and listen to yourself. Listen to your emotions. Listen, not to your anxiety. Listen to your intuition. There is a difference. Let's see. Yes. to the peace and wisdom that are vibrating there. This card upright indicates that there should be more leisure time for you now and more of an opportunity to engage in peaceful thinking. No, but you need to take that time. That's what I'm sensing. So make it a priority. Make it a priority. This ain't going away, and a storm is here, but it's also brewing. Yeah, okay. Your connection to spirit brings great assistance, but it can only be achieved through regular relaxation and meditation. Now is a great time to make sure you insert this gentle activity into your daily life. In many ways, this is far more productive than unceasing action. Yeah, you need to make your actions much more intentional towards this for this right collective. That's the concerning project. Allow yourself to do blah blah blah. I just wanted to check the if it's saying anything different than what I just said. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna read this last part. When you hurry through life without a break, it fragments your energy and creates an abrasive life force, causing potential frustration in all sorts of ways, because you are fragmenting in general when you are involved with two people and all of this drama is here, and it's all, you know, fueled by anxiety that is you fearing being hurt. So you're also only giving fragments of yourself away, but like with the whole, like you're never letting anyone in on your innermost circle. Be careful not to let endless tasks take you away from yourself. The have-to items on your list may be calling you, but this card reversed is telling you take the time to meditate, rest, and relax. Yeah, that's probably wise and true and all of that, but like stop excusing it. Take time to actually listen to yourself. The actions that you are taking should be very much intentional towards this. You need to solve this. Yes, there's a storm already. There's also more brewing. This will intensify in your head, particularly, in your inner conflict, in your inner world. This will continue on intensifying. And the worst part here, actually, I would say at least, is that if you don't, this is a gift. This is a gift. You don't feel like it is, but it is. For this right collective, you do not feel like it is, but it is. The gift here is actually the hard part. The gift here is to untangle it. The gift here is to let people come close to you, the right people, which you test, right? Without running away, and also when it proves to be that, you know, you let them have a crumb and they couldn't really hold it. You let them have a tiny peek in here and they couldn't hold it properly. You didn't feel safe. You didn't feel like you were accepted, unconditionally loved when you showcase certain sides of yourself. Well, that's also a blessing. That's a gift as well. Because then it's like, okay, nice. And you don't belong here. Now we know that. Great. And pulling away from that, it's not pulling away per se. I mean, maybe, but you don't have to pull all the way back. It's just that if you then don't give them anymore, that's not part of a push-pull dynamic. That's simply part of okay, boundaries. This is mine, and only those that can come, only those that can walk in here with unconditional love gets to be in here. It's my own sacred little space of all of me, all I am. Haha. And it's great. It's wonderful. It's like sort of like your hidden treehouse, you know. And you don't allow anyone into your hidden treehouse. Any child knows that, you know. You have a sign outside, and it's like only so and so gets to go here, or you have like a secret contract with your friends or your siblings, and it's like we tell no one about this, or we have to like protect it. Oh, it's like with the cat, where it's like we stand by this cottage of ours in vigilant. Vigil, whatever, right? So like no one else can enter here. This is just ours. That's your innermost circle. You let in those that are worthy. But oh my God, would it be boring to have a fucking amazing, I'm swearing, to have like an amazing treehouse, but there's only you in there. That's not fun. You need to get invite some people in, have a good time in your treehouse, and also go and visit other people's treehouses when they allow you in. But if you never invite anyone into your amazing treehouse, why would you expect even? Or how could you expect? And that's so sad. But wait, how could you expect to be invited into others' treehouses? No, you need to give to get. Ah, that's just my neighbor. Anywho, so this and your treehouse, and this action. But I'm also sensing this. Stop also making excuses. Also this. It's like, listen to your intuition. Listen to your emotions. Be still. Truthfully listen to yourself. And when you do that, act on it. It's not enough to have thoughts, feelings, and emotions and no actions. Because what will happen is that you're just trapped in your head, and then you just have inner conflicts. And worse, you're making your anxiety grow. You're literally creating this perfect ground for it to keep on growing and become bigger and larger. But you don't have to. You can take action, and you can let the right people into your treehouse. But before you start doing that, untangle this by taking action, and your inner conflict will go away. Also, stop with the double standards. And also, don't let people in too soon to your treehouse. But do let people in. I'm sensing it though, I'm going to say it. Because I don't know, nothing here in this reading is indicating if this is like two very new relationships, if it's like you are dating this right collective and then you just happen to be dating multiple, and then it's like, but it feels like, it has to do something with love triangle and stuff though. Anyways, so there's multiple love interests at once. And with the triangle, there's drama involved, and we already went through that in the very beginning. But my point is, I don't know how long these relationships have been, how long standing, how deep they are, or whatnot. But what I feel that I should say here is, too soon is also about getting very serious then, too soon. If you don't know that they should be allowed into your treehouse at all times, don't get so serious that, don't get serious with someone who can't exist in your treehouse with unconditional love and be just awestruck by everything in there. Like, they're not being awestruck and all unconditional love and all that. It's not being like not noticing things about you that might not be your strongest traits, but it's still offering you unconditional love as, any human being. We all have those shadow traits. I'm going to stick with that terminology. But it's not never noticing and never addressing shadow traits. That's not unconditional love. That's being a yes man. Yes, sir. What you want then is, to be a king with a court, surrounded by people who will never say anything that could potentially even touch your ego. But in that case, you're also never, ever, ever going to have growth, and those are not ever actually inside here. That's like here at best, but most likely they're going to be here. Those are the yes men, because they're like, they don't get that close with you and who you actually are. and to see your shadow sides and accept you, not just like accept you, but like truthfully love you for your shadow sides. Not saying that like if your shadow sides are something that should be worked on, then they probably should be worked on, but they're not demanding change in you. They are accepting you for who you are. They're walking into your treehouse and being all like, wow, what a marvelous treehouse. Yeah, there's like a little bit of shadow over there and a little bit of shadow over there, but have you seen my treehouse? It's filled with shadows as well. So like, you know, we're all work in progress here. Sort of, which is also true actually, we are, unless we stop working on ourselves for different reasons or never started properly. But, and by all means, that's everyone's choice, whatever leads you to live a life that you feel is the best for you. I like to call it your highest vibrational life. And wherever that is for you is right for you. There is no right or wrong in life. You just need to figure out what is your truth, what is your right, your wrong, sort of. It doesn't need to be wrong, it's just like, what is your right? Focus on that. Who cares about what is your wrong? Focus on what is your right and move towards that. You know, it's the bicycle thing again. Like, wherever you're focusing, that's where you're ending up. So don't focus on what is wrong for me, because then you're going to end up on that place, on that situation. I need to eat a little bit. Focus on what is right for you and move towards that. That's where you want to have your actions towards. And right now you want to have your actions towards figuring this out. Not just figuring it out, but action to untangle it. Yeah. Okay. I feel like that was your reading today. I have tools for intuition versus anxiety that might be helpful for this collective. If you so desire, join the Discord. There is a link, and just send me a message and I'll send it to you. Okay? Because I haven't done the thing to like make stuff available for the public. It's just because I'm still working on that and I'm studying and whatnot right now. So do that if you need a tool. I have tools. I have created plenty of tools. Yeah, and good luck, I'd like to say. Because you can do this. And also, I promise you, letting people into your innermost circle, but only those that are worthy, into your treehouse, that makes for a lot more fun in your life. It's no fun having a treehouse and just sitting there alone. It isn't. I read a story once when I was a child that was about this. Now it's no fun for that child. Just saying. So take heed of that and let in. Also, don't let anyone in, because like it was something about like letting. I'm not sure if that's the same story though. It was something about like, you know, impressing the cool kids, which was my first thought with this one. It's like, who cares? Who cares? It's like, who cares what status the people have that you allow into your treehouse in the schoolyard? Who cares? Are they not just fun but comfortable and lovely to have in your treehouse? And if not, don't let them in. Don't let them in. So go more than surface level when you let people into your treehouse. And you have it. You have this. Untangle. You can do it. And your mental health and your nervous system will thank you so much for it. And just, again, this is just like not a warning, but like, remember, yes, it feels like this now, like stormful and whatnot. But it also said that because the thing is, if you don't do anything, it'll just increase, right? One way or another. And it might end up solving itself, but it never truthfully solved, because what happens then in that case is that one or both, or more, if it's more, I'm not sure how, it says triangle, but again, if it's dating, there might be more people, I don't know. They might move away from this situation then. And so, yes, you will get more chances, always. Life always provides us with more, because this is a gift. More gifts of evolving and moving away from certain ways of interacting with the world, of seeing the world, of broadening our schematics, whatever. And what was my point? Yeah, so then this situation would perhaps dissolve. But if you never actually worked on any of this, chances are massive that this will just come back in a different version. The same situation, different players. Yeah, okay, yeah. It's basically like it's the same play but with different players. Or game. It wasn't game. I was thinking about like putting up a play on a stage, right? But then it's the same play. It's just different players. Actors, I suppose. Same story, different meat suits. You can do this. Invite people in to your treehouse. Do it in a way that isn't too soon. Okay, that is your reading. I will now end this, and I will wish you all the best, and I know that you've got this. Even if you don't feel like it, you do. You can solve this. You can. Just take action. So, love you all, and until next time. Mwah.